Welcome back to Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast for our Team Cofidis 2024 preview. My favourite kit in the 2023 peloton. I can't wait to see what they line up with next year. And we're back with team-by-team previews for the French teams. We did a combined one last year. Don't say we don't show any love to the French teams.
Mate.
I'm so jet-lagged. I'm doing a Cofidis preview, so yeah.
I'm looking forward to Arkea.
That's not a World Tour team. Isn't it such a joke, though, with Arkea? Just on that. That they got promoted because of Quintana, took all his points, and then we're like, no, we don't. Oh, we could not touch Quintana or extend him again. Yeah. It's like, you're only in World Tour because of him.
Yeah, and then,
anyway.
Demar probably won't be able to save him. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the Arkea
Well,
preview.
It's relevant to Cofidis, but their season 2023, their best season, ever in terms of our lifetime, probably unbelievable year.
You don't remember Moncoutier?
Yeah, I know who he is, but did they win that many races when he was there?
I think they had great results in 2001 and so forth. Okay, maybe not. 1998, maybe? No. 2005, maybe? No, never mind. Just skip.
Even when they had controversial David Miller, I'm not sure their season was as... Probably the team was better then, but fuck, man. Yeah. 2001, that's not even... I don't know if the sport was professional then. But this
2010.
year...
David Moncoutier won 4 KOM jerseys at the Tour de France, won 4 stage at Grand Tours, at the Vuelta, won 2 stage at the Tour de France. Man, they had some good years back then.
I think they'll take the Tour stage though. Still no Tour stage. So I think this season they'll take it. With a Tour de France stage win from Victor Lafay from the GC group, and he was good on the stage before, with also a Vuelta stage from Jesus Herrada, and then Jonas Aguirre as well. And then, of course, the highlight, Coquard winning in Wollonga on the uphill drag, and just good, sort of decent results throughout the rest of the year. I mean, they didn't score maybe as many points as they would have hoped, despite that good year. They're still not a million miles clear. They're still 15th in the ranking. This is still not the best team, but I think they had a great year.
How close are they from trouble?
So they're on 2,400 points. So they are 3,200 ahead of Arkea and 3,500 ahead of 400 ahead of Astana. So they are looking, pretty good. They got to just consolidate again next year.
Victor Lafay, Jonas Aguirre, you mentioned it, 2 stage at the Tour de France, pretty damn good. Herrada winning a stage with the Vuelta, and these other results are they've got top 10s in stage races. The Martins of the world, GC at Tour de France, but also at the Dauphiné, Izagirre at Basque. And when I look at all these things, I'm like, Walshite top 10 Roubaix. I completely forgot about that one, by the way. But that's like the one classic together with GP Denet where he does perform. When I look at the results that they had throughout the 2023 season, obviously it's a great season. Obviously it's one of the best they had in a very long time. But... okay, I have no but for this one. Jonas Aguirre once did so well this year that he was able to use his I will sign my brother free card for 2024.
Yeah, I know. He got Gorka in. Guillaume Martin. I did not know that Guillaume Martin came 6th in Liège. That's a lot of UCI points.
Yeah.
That's a good result.
I agree.
So, yeah. The philosopher had he just races too much. I'm convinced Guillaume Martin is better than he is, better than he looks. I'm convinced he has much more. He could do much better than he shows if he did preparation a bit differently.
Peak Guillaume Martin with peak preparation against peak go do it peak preparation.
And Pog or not?
What? What does Pog have to do with these two riders? Do you ever think in that combination with Pog that any other rider would win?
Yeah, maybe on Lowe's, but Guillaume Martin the breakaway. Go do against Guillaume Martin.
For me, it's Gaudu anyway, but still.
Gaudu is more talented. Gaudu is more talented. But
Gaudu has better results at LBL.
I don't want to disrespect Gaudu too much. He did come, what, 4th in the Tour, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. He is better. But I think Martin is very good, and he just raced a little bit too much. But his back half of the year in terms of points was very good for them. Jonas Zagira, just the model of consistency. You know, this guy he's 33 years old, I think 34 years old, rather, turning 35 in February, still just knocking out a podium result in Basque Country with a win in the rain the weekend before it starts. So, yeah, and also it's a sort of, they obviously sponsored the Vuelta a lot, so it's not just a French team, it has a bit of a Spanish mix as well, and some Basque staff in the team as well. Where were they disappointing? I guess.
Where were they disappointing? Well, I don't know. I feel like they did pretty well. Were they good enough in like the French races, you reckon?
No, I don't think they were as good in the French Cup. And to be honest, I thought that Zangler would do a little bit better. I know he came 5th in Flesch, 10th in Amstel. That's nice. But I thought he would win more. Maybe he did. He also, 83 race days at 24. Racing from Trofeo Calvia and Mallorca in January to Japan Cup. So, like, they're working these boys for the points. So I'm not blaming him too much either. But yeah, I think it's a nice year, and they've taken a step up, Benji, from the team that we laughed at. We laughed, and I don't regret laughing at them, because in 2020 or 2020, you got to remember how recently that was. They won 2 races. One of them was in Africa at Mr. Bongo. One of them was Alps Maritime du Var stage. Mm-hmm. In 2021, they won one world. They improved, won one World Tour race. And 22, they lost Laporte and got even better. So,
question.
Yeah, I think it's good.
How competitive would a, like, we've spoken about mergers a lot in the off season, a lot of mergers that didn't happen, some mergers that did happen on the women's side. But when it comes to the French teams,
they got to get rid of you.
Mergers are bad when it comes to the staff and so forth. Let's get that out of the way. Ideally, these people don't lose their job. But in a world of competitiveness, who should Cofidis fuse with to build I think Groupama can stand on its own. Cofidis with Arkea or with Age-Desert? What do you do?
So there's 4 French World Tour teams: Groupama, Arkea, Cofidis, and Age-Desert. And Cofidis, AG2R, and Arkea are 15th, 17th, and 19th. So they form 3 of the bottom 6. Can I count?
Basic math, mate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They form 3 of the bottom 6 World Tour teams. One's in the relegation zone. So, I mean, the answer is that Arkea are getting relegated most likely, unless Demar pulls off a miracle. Groupama scored a lot of points, and they're good, but they won 1 or 2 World Tour races. One road World Tour race this year. So, but yeah, who would you merge? AG2R and Cofidis, yeah. And Arkea.
Or Cofidis and Arkea to keep Arkea in World Tour. Or all 3.
Yeah, all 3 maybe.
I think there's possibility there. That being said, I'd rather have it not happen for the sake of the staff and the World Tour riders on the teams. But to be honest, like, it's hard to say that much more about their season. It's just that when it comes to their out transfers, they're losing Lafay. And with the money that is rumored for the transfer of Lafay, I understand that they're losing Lafay. I think that Vasseur said he ain't worth 1.5 million or something, right? Did he say that? Or did I imagine that?
I think he said that they couldn't pay it. And to be honest, I wouldn't pay it either. But I also heard that he's not getting paid that as well. So maybe that number was a little bit inflated, and it's more around the million mark. Still, it's the question, if he can perform like he did on the opening weekend of the Tour de France throughout more of the year, then he's worth $1 million. That's a brilliant rider, but he's not showing that consistency, and he's not a young rider, Lafay. He's not like a young prospect. He's 27, turning
And the
28
thing
in a
about
month
it,
and a half.
we get these stories. I don't know if it was from Walscheid that
From Volshad, yeah.
he was speaking about Lafay as like this rock star next to the races, and that suggests to me that there's still possibility to level up his training regime, his professionalism next to the bike, to the point that he might become more consistent if that happens. Like, I'm not calling him unprofessional. I don't know whether he actually does his training perfectly or not. Just going off Walscheid's words, that I think there's maybe a step up possible in terms of consistency that was not tapped into by Cofidis yet.
I mean, or he goes to AG2R and pounds the raclette and the vino because he got a nice fat contract now.
Yeah.
Listen, this is a message to any World Tour team. That's exactly what I would do. If I got a decent contract, enough that I could invest and be smart afterwards, you think I'm going to fucking be counting calories all year? Get fucked. I'm drinking a bottle of wine every night. No, actually, I wouldn't do that because I'm not a World Tour rider and I still don't do that. Make me sound like an alcoholic. I don't even drink. But yeah, maybe I play Call of Duty a lot. So I don't know what that tangent was. I'm just saying it's the AG2R. It's risky, you know. It's risky for them, and as well, they got a much bigger budget than Cofidis. They just lost Citroën, and they got to perform. They got a Connor out of contract at the end of the year.
But
I think if I was, I would. It's different. Cofidis, I think, are doing really well with the money they have, the resources they have. AG2R, though, could not doing well with the money they have. Yeah.
Ajazera has just been awful when it comes to the money they had. Like, the contract of Van Avermaet won't have been cheap. And to be honest, Citroën leaving, I'm not sure it hurts them too much in terms of money for the other riders, because it was probably just into the riders that are the Greg Van Avermaets of the world in the first place. I'm wondering, what is about the decathlon rumor? As in, was that a sponsor that is coming next to, in addition to Ajazera, to replace Citroën, a name sponsor, or is it just...
I don't know. We'll wait for their preview.
Okay. That's an important thing that I'm looking for.
You're just addicted to merging French previews, Benji. All right, transfers out. As we said, Lafay, I'm going to speed run them. Chimolai Valscheid, Simone Consoni, De Trek, Jesus Herrada retired. No, Jose Herrada retired. Sorry, Jesus is still good. Yella Walais retired. Pierre-Luc Perrichon retired. Wesley Crater retired. He had a heart issue, I think. Lafay out to AG2R. Remy Rochas to Groupama. I know Benji, we always battle on Rochas, but I don't think it's the biggest loss, especially if Francois Bidard retired. Alexandre Delettre went to Saint Michel, and Andre Carvalho, don't know who that is. He's going nowhere.
Is Remy Rochan not the hero of the French nation that
hero
fought
of the French nation?
That fought in the Battle of the Tour of Guangxi to try and make sure France overtakes Spain in the Olympics ranking when it comes to the country ranking of the UCI points, so that France can start with 4 riders?
Wouldn't be in their top 8 riders.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure the points only count from like the top X number of riders, and Rochelle wouldn't be in there. I thought you were about to say to stop the evil Jumbo Visma winning more races. That would make more
He got second in Guangxi, mate. Come on.
Okay,
that is also 90% of his UCI points this year, but...
Still, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's not like... No, I'm not saying he's a bad rider. I'm just saying he's not like... Lafay is won a tour stage. Yeah. Incoming, though. Let's see if we think the incoming is better than the outgoing. They bring in Ben Hermans, who's had long COVID, I think, at Israel. He's 37 years old, doesn't do Grand Tours, but is very good in Dot Pro stage races historically. They'll be hoping he can bounce back.
I'm not bullish anymore on Ben Hermans. I feel like we've come to the point in his career where it's starting to go downhill. And I asked ChatGPT whether they think he's still a good cyclist, and they responded with, opinions on whether a cyclist is considered good can vary depending on individual preferences. So either that's incompetence by ChatGPT or a subtle roast of Ben Hermans. But in all honesty, I'm kind of surprised he still has a World Tour contract. I kind of expected him to be at Total at this point.
Yeah, Ben Hermans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they brought him in so they have a second GC contender. I mean, they're kind of doing Herrada in Jesus Herrada for Arctic race, which they do, I think, for those sort of races. But yeah, he's not looked. He's not been up. He's been ill or whatever.
You've been fighting the Seb Berwick battle for years. I feel like this is the moment to fight it. I think Berwick is better than Hermans in 2023-4.
And Berwick did a sick lead out for him in Arctic race to help him win in 2021. So, yeah, I agree with you, of course. He's definitely better than Gorka Izagira, who's coming from Movistar. Kenny Elizondo, I'm happy to see get another contract. He's come across from Trek, but you know, Kenny is not. Yeah, he's not won for a while, but I think. Like, where does he finish? What's his role in this team? Mountain breakaways.
I think breakaways and Grand Tours, and I think he podiumed Tour de l'Ain, so maybe in those like French one-week races like Tour du Haut-Var, he can compete for a top 5 maybe. Like, I'm looking at those races to stack that up. And when it comes to the other riders that joined, Alexis Goujar is back. The dude that was gone from Vital Concept, no, what's the other name? B&B Hotels. Yeah. Back in the day, to a national club in France, I think, Vici Rouen. But now he's back in World Tour, Rouleur. So I don't necessarily mind someone signing Goujar because I still feel like he could be valuable for the team, even though he won't move the needle big time. Emil again, same. Well, I'm saying same, but not really. I feel like hasn't really performed recently, but I was pretty bullish on him like 3 years ago. But yeah, being bullish 3 years ago doesn't really help you in 2024. Anielkowski, pro team level sprinter, Human Powered Health, they got stumped, right? They're gone, right?
Yeah,
the men's team.
Out. Yeah.
So he was left without a contract, and he can get top 10s in a Slovenia sprint, but it's also kind of it for me. Like, do you see more of a value in the likes of Oldani and the other 5 riders that are named under that?
Yeah, Oldani surely must have been one of the more higher profile ones in Cosmore. He won a Giro stage. Yeah. And I think he'll be going to the Giro to target breakaways like he tried to do this year. And so, yeah, I think he will be, that's his role on Cofidis. Fretten was decent in some races for, Fretten. How do you say it?
Fretten. Milan Fretten.
Fretten was decent, 2-year deal. He won the SD Works BW Classic against Nolan Vatra.
You should have said nobody, okay?
Ludovic Robit was on a 1 year. He's sort of a classics ride. They got some classics NPCs coming in, man. Jesus.
Robit won. Wasn't he the guy that? But sorry, go ahead.
De Gent, Robit, and Fretten are not really moving the needle in terms of competitiveness at World Tour Classics for me.
Yeah.
They will.
I agree.
I mean, maybe they will, but I don't think they'll match the top 10 of Walscheid and Roubaix, those guys.
I do feel like when I look at the results of Fretin, he's like always in the...
He could.
He's like in between position 7 and 20 in like these 1.2, 1.1 classics in Belgium. So if he can step that up, he might become the...
Yeah.
A B-Tech
he's
Milan
the most
Menton.
talented of those 3. He's young.
Am I generous by saying a B-Tech Milan Menton?
I mean, their names are so similar. I assume they're related. And then they have Oliver Knight, who came from AVC Aix-en-Provence.
Yep.
Nice to see a Brit get a go in a team like Cofidis. He's on a 2-year deal. He was a trainee this year at the end of the season. Nolan
Foundation?
Maudo, I think he was. Yeah, I think he was part of Rainer Foundation. And then Nicolas Debomarché. So of the good market.
That is correct. Is he of the good market though? That is the question. Like, I'll be honest, I don't really know de Beaumarchais and Mahoudou. I had heard of de Beaumarchais from Saint-Michel, but
why can't really this team get someone like Paul Magnier, who Quickstep just teased they're about to announce? Like, surely Quickstep are not paying Paul Magnier more than like, he's not that good that he's getting paid much more than the Neo Pro minimum. like,
maybe Paul Magnier wants to go to a different team than
yeah,
Cofidis.
I can see that, but fuck, like, I would save on Oldani and Gujard and De Gent and
Yeah.
get some of the better young guys, because when they have got the young French guys, they've been really good. Axel Zangler's really, really good. But maybe
Thing is,
and Alexis Renard is good.
when I take a look at the teams of Ash Desert and Groupama, especially Groupama, they're youngsters, and the youngsters they sign with their young teams because they have U23, U19 teams and so forth. Those are like really good riders. But when it comes to Cofidis, I think they had the Vendée team at some point, which was their feeder team. But I feel like that team in combination with like Arkea, they have some youngsters that are very good, like Vauquelin and so forth. But Cofidis is one of those teams where they just signed these like French carousel riders that, I don't know, if you had one leg, you'd still be able to sign a contract there if you were French.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. But also sometimes, yeah, I agree. But to give them credit, and this is across a lot of these teams, like they know things about the market and the domestic transfers that we can't see just from PCS. So, for example, who's the guy that's Labou's partner? On
Clément
AG2R.
Berthet.
Clément Berthet. You know, they know, okay, he's 25, but they see his power data, he's really talented, and he's really, really good.
Yep.
And Axel Zangler, he took like 3 seasons off from 2016 juniors to like his second last year of eligibility for U23. He did 1 race on PCS at least. And so they knew something about Axel Zangler. And I also won U23 French national championships. That usually gets you a contract.
Okay.
But they know, like, okay, has this guy done a cadetship? Is he in the military? Has he done mountain biking? So sometimes there is the benefit of the doubt that maybe de Beaumarchais and Yaman are better than they first appear. That's their transfers, Benji. How would you rate them?
I don't think they moved the needle at all. I'm not inspired by any of these transfers.
Yeah, I don't really like them either, to be honest.
I don't really care about these transfers. I'm just sad Oldani. I don't know. I wanted him to go to Aolo.
Really?
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it? Yeah. But
that being said,
they can guarantee him a full world tour program.
Yeah, that is true.
At Cofidis.
Anyway, what are realistic aims for this team? I'm going to keep it simple. I think when it comes to Guillaume Martin, like there's a bit too much time trial in the Giro. I'd go Tour Vuelta with Guillaume Martin. So that's number 1 on my sheet. Not that he's the most important rider on their team, but that is that combined with the likes of LBL again. So I just recompress the old schedule for the man. When it comes to Yoni Zagire, focus on Basque Country again. Very important. He's really good in that race every single time. So just focus on that race. Try and go for stage wins in the Tour de France. And what stops them from sending him to the Vuelta as well, is my opinion.
Nothing.
I think that's a thing they can do as well. Then I look at the other riders in their team. Like a lot of these riders, like a Walscheid, he can go to Roubaix and yodel about a bit, hope for a top 10 again. He's not here anymore. Fuck, that was our previous preview. Oh my god, it's all coming together.
They got Zangler and Coquard for sort of hilly, but not too hilly races.
Yep. I think I'd like to see Zangler and Coquard. Is it harsh to say in Amstel? Brabantse for sure.
Well, no, like Zangler top 10 Amstel this year.
Exactly. I didn't remember that, but for example, and outside of those riders, like breakaways and Grand Tours as a focus, French Cup races, French Days races. Those are the races I'll be focusing on.
Yeah, because you always think we do. It's hard to put, it's hard to make say, oh, he'll do this and he'll do that. They don't have like the clear leaders, maybe like other teams, but then all of a sudden, Jesus Herrada wins Luxembourg GC, or he could win the TDU GC. He won a Tour of
Catalonia
Oman stage. Yep, he could win a Catalonia break. He won a Vuelta stage. So Jesus Herrada, I expect to keep performing. Aldani maybe at the Giro too. I think Coquard should do the Giro.
Yes.
Giro of Vuelta.
No broadcast.
Giro of Vuelta.
No proper broadcast in France.
Is there not?
Well, wasn't that the problem that Arkea kept skipping the Giro because there was no proper broadcast for the Giro in France? As in, it wasn't behind an equipe?
It must be possible to watch it.
I don't know.
You can watch the Giro in
an
France on
paywall.
Eurosport. Yeah, it'll be behind a paywall somewhere, but I think it's like, it's not free to air. But I think you send Martin Izagirre to do the Tour of Vuelta double or something like that, and then you have Lecoq. I would send him to the Giro with a good lead out, with maybe Zangler, with Renard, and really try win a stage there with him. I think that's a good target for him. And the Vuelta, really in the Vuelta, I think, especially the Vuelta is a more important race for Cofidis too than the Giro. I think Lecoq at the Vuelta is. I know there's other races, there's Britannia Classic and stuff, but man, he can win a Grand Tour stage there.
What stops them from sending him to 7th stage of the Giro?
Nothing.
10th stage of the Tour and 7 or 8 of the Vuelta? Well, pride in the Tour de France might be one of the reasons. So maybe there he might have to do the full thing to not have France hunt him down.
Yeah.
But
okay, yeah, but
just proposing to make the Giro and the Vuelta a one-week stage race.
I agree with you. I don't know why teams don't do it more. It's just, especially when it's like
for the race.
No, but no one's gonna notice. That's the thing. It's harder for the stars to do it.
Yeah,
because everyone notices when Van der Poel goes home. Dude, even Pedersen got away with it. Pedersen just left the Giro and no one cared this year, right?
I do not remember.
Or was it Kung?
Pedersen left the Giro after stage 12. Before Crans Montana.
And Kung left the Giro after the second TT. So, I think there's nothing stopping Coquard doing something like that as well. And so, okay, time for their over-under, or their how many World Tour wins Cofidis are going to win next year.
I think they're going to win less than in 2023. I think the repeatability isn't there, in my opinion. That being said, they won't be dog shit. So they had 4 World Tour victories in 2023.
3 Grand Tour
I'm going to go for 2 World Tour victories in 2024.
Yeah, I agree. Unless they do the schedule I just said with Lecoq and optimize the schedule, I agree with you. I think they could snag a Vuelta stage and a Giro stage, but that overall competitiveness to win a lot of World Tour races, I'm not sure. So what do you say, Benji? 2?
2 I've got.
Yeah.
And I see it in Izagirre and Herrada doing them.
Yeah, I say 2 as well.
Okay.
Any hot takes for Cofidis?
Fuck my life. A hot take for Cofidis is... Jesus Christ. Am I supposed to find a bloody hot take in this team? Ben Hermans doesn't top 10 a single race in 2024.
That's not a hot take, Benji.
Well, you just hyped him up like he was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
No, I said he was good.
Well, okay. I'll go for a lava hot take then. In Coquard doesn't win a single race in 2024.
Oh, I'll leave the man alone. But okay, that's acceptable because he should win one.
And I like Coquard, but you're forcing the hand here.
Yeah. But I'll try to a positive and a negative. Axel Zangler.
Oh, I like that. I should have done that.
Wins Britannia Classic.
Not impossible.
Not impossible, but I think that is still pretty hard.
That's hard.
And then It's a World Tour one. It's a World Tour 1 day race. They're fucking miles away from winning one of them this year. And
And is this a negative one?
yeah, I think they slip in the. That's not a hot take.
Not a hot take.
Yeah, negative ones because I'm kind of always negative. Not a single one of their transfers wins a race, or
Is that hot?
top 10's a race.
Top 10. Okay, deal. We'll shake on that one.
That's almost impossible, dude.
That's
Because
nearly impossible.
because Fredden and stuff will come fifth in like a $1 But anyway,
Some random
there we are.
Belgian race.
But listen, this team's moving in the right direction, and to be honest, it's nice to have these sort of teams being more competitive, and especially winning Tour and Vuelta stages was good this year to break up sometimes the monotony of the dominant 4 or 3 or 4 teams. So I'd hope that Cofidis keeps getting stronger, but I don't see it from the prospects they've brought in for 2024. There's also the spectre of in 2024. I'm not sure if he's extended his contract, but there's Zangler out of contract, Renard out of contract, Martin and Ionis Zagira out of contract. So that's 4 of their best riders, in my opinion. Remembering that Renard, I think, top 10 can Wevel him. Will they be able to retain them, or will the best ones get poached by Groupama or AG2R or indeed other teams around the World Tour? Certainly, I have my eye on Le Pringle, Axel Zangler.
Le Pringle.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah. Anyway, that's the Cofidis preview, Benji. I think we were pretty fair. And I look forward to seeing their kit released in a month or so for my review as well, because I liked it this year quite a lot. It was a really, really nice kit. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the preview, and we'll see you with maybe Bora next. Ciao.